Hello, it's me, the goofy guy in the world. You're disabled, combat vet, Matt from 9/11, Michael Commiso, and the battle on. Over the years of making YouTube videos, I feel like one day I will accomplish enough on YouTube. Because I'm trying to make it in the world. You know? Even though that everybody acts like the internet is some top secret, I guess some of the office, like the office buildings and on the internet, sees the internet to time to entrap people. Entrap people over billions of nudity and sex that's on the internet 24 hours a day. Only because everybody's got their own webcams nowadays, and I would feel like 99% most of the time everybody uses their webcams nowadays because of the 24 hours of nudity and sex that's on the internet. That's the math that I came up as a human being. I'm not sure what type of math you all came up with as why they ask, are you a robot on the internet? And you're the robots that somehow sees that there's billions of nudity, but somehow has the balls to entrap people on purpose over the billions of nudity in 24 hours a day that's on the internet. That's what came out of my mind. Sometimes I feel like people think I'm stupid. Maybe because I have a learning disability or a speech impairment. But people look at me like I'm stupid. And that sucks because, just because I have a speech impairment or a learning disability or whatever, how you see me or as the internet, as a person, I'm just trying to use the internet. Since I came back home from war, I'm just trying to use the internet. How people nowadays use the internet to connect to each other and know where to connect as friends and family to party with each other. I feel like that's like the majority. I feel like majority of the world want to do the right thing on the internet, right? So everybody wants to have a positive life. They don't want to get in trouble with the law or the internet. And I feel like that's the majority of the world on the internet. Because I feel how connected the internet is. Everything should be positive on the internet. Everything should be safe on the internet. But I feel like people are talking to me like I'm stupid. So I'm not a bully. I feel like even though I feel like even at age 40, because people have trouble talking to each other nowadays. Because everybody uses the internet nowadays, so people have have a trouble talking to each other personally, face to face kind of, because everything's on the internet. So we're people using the internet all the time on planet Earth. We're so using the internet so much, we don't realize we're using the internet. That's how much internet is being used. When we use the internet so much, we forget. We all got some type of anxiety to talk to each other nowadays with face to face. Because we're so used to webcams and talking online 24 hours. So I'm just trying to use the internet. I feel that if the whole world uses the internet, I don't think people go out of the way to try to find negative on the internet. I feel like majority of the whole world will try to stay on the positive of the internet. Well, you get forced into a world where, like, damn, I can't believe there's actually a soap opera in real life on the internet. We already got reality shows, but sometimes I can't believe people, it's hard to believe people fight that much on reality shows nowadays. I'm like, it doesn't seem reality that people fight that much on reality shows because people still somehow travel the world, right? You have to get along with each other to travel the world and have tourists. There's tourists. I don't know if I feel like there's tourists all around the world. So I'm just trying to say, why do you want me to lose? Because I got panic attacks. I served my country and went to war. Me as Commiso. So it sucks that people look at you like, well, how much do you have to do to be an American hero to serve your country at war? And is that how people view your veterans back home or something? So as you do that to your veterans, if they did enough online to serve their country as an American hero, you do that to each other and bully each other over every little thing that you talk about as every subject. So I don't know. I'm an American soldier after 9/11 attack that happened in New York City on the internet. So I feel like shit. What do you expect me to how to act back home as a veteran? You know, I'm an American that, well, I felt like I was a shy, nervous, quiet. I tried to be quiet in school because I have a speech impediment, but somehow people came up to me and talked to me. So everybody forced me in classroom to talk anyway. So since I feel like, well, even though I don't know what it takes to use the internet, I accomplished that. Well, yeah, I could edit my videos more, but it's everything I do on the computer is being analyzed back home as a veteran for some reason, as a soldier. And I'm thinking to myself, do people really think about each other, how they treat each other on television? Everybody's like a bad guy on the internet, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not a bad guy. I'm an American hero back home. So, yeah. I don't know how hard it is to discover the internet nowadays, but I feel like majority of the world has discovered the internet that's on planet Earth. I feel like the internet has been discovered long enough that aliens from outer space is watching our internet. So if aliens from outer space that live billions of fucking years on planet Earth can pick up the internet signal for some reason, doesn't mean they know exactly where our planet is. I feel like a human being been on the internet long enough for the internet to be some type of human being itself? Or is the internet some kind of Terminator that we got to figure out because there were Terminator movies? So, but I have a good heart. I actually feel like that I was nice. I feel like I was nice to even all the other students in the other schools that I wrestled. I feel like, sometimes it's not that hard to figure out when somebody's angry at you. I'm just trying to So when I was on the wrestling team, as you get older, because people don't, a freshman, I feel like, wow, a freshman got a first place medal and nobody knows who you are because you're a freshman. I feel like that's what I get when I watch American movies. Oh, you're just a freshman. Nobody knows who you are. Well, yeah, I just came into high school and I don't know who you are either. But I guess as you get more of an older teenager, you treat each other so more complex. As an adult, we're going to treat each other more complex and get mad at each other. How simple it was to play basketball, throw the ball to each other as a child on planet Earth. But when you become an adult, everything's got to be analyzed. And I feel like the internet has been analyzed enough for everybody knows exactly what time everybody takes a shit in every homes everywhere around the world. That's how internet has became as social media, and everybody's talking about something. So I just assume you carry it to see it. You know, imagine being a shy, nervous guy in school, and you finally have the nerve to talk to people. I said, they're going to keep trying. The teachers are going to keep trying to talk to them. I was like, they said, I read in a book that Albert Einstein didn't start talking until he was 11 years old. So there was probably a reason. It's because to communicate with each other, and I feel like Albert Einstein could have been a shy, nervous guy in school too. So he finally said, I better start talking because they're going to think there's something wrong with me as a shy, nervous guy in school. Because everybody, I feel, gets bullied about everything. So, yeah, I feel like a few students made it like me in school. I mean, maybe all students could have liked me in school. But as a shy, nervous guy that has no social skills, that I don't know how many parties you think I went to with the shy guy. Look, me using the internet. You act like they'd act like they found $1 billion stuff on my internet, and everybody's coming down hard on me because they found $1 billion. You act like everybody makes the greatest videos on the internet. So hopefully I'm in the... Yeah, you probably grade me as a C, average video making person, because I am a shy and nervous, huh? People get A's and B's making videos, and they're cool videos on the internet. I feel like as a guy that is trying to socialize I play video games. I feel like one day I would play Xbox too, but I kind of stuck with PlayStation. Everybody say, why don't you just try Xbox? And I'm like, I feel like I should be loyal to PlayStation. If I go to Xbox, I won't be too loyal to the PlayStation. But then I'm saying, I like playing video games, so one day I'm like, they make it so Xbox got more, or Xbox could play certain games and PlayStation play certain games. But I feel like in the future we would come to an understanding and we'll be able to play all the video games on the internet anyway. So, so for me making YouTube videos, I get panic attacks socializing with people because I feel like I'm back in high school and you're adults on the internet, and I'm like, I thought when you become an adult, life will be a simple life because you're an adult now. Everything's going to come to you so easily because we're all adults, and we learn in school to respect each other as an adult. So we're adults now, and every great life, good thing's going to happen to you because you're an adult. I feel like That's what the school was trying to teach me when I went into classroom. They say if you learn this subject will help you in the future and get you a good job or a career, or you become something cool if you pay attention in school and get an A and B in your class. So if it was hard for everybody else to get A's and B's in high school, imagine being a speech impediment, learning this. I can't write down what I pronounce, so I may look like an idiot when I take the test. But I feel like I get the subject to the teacher. So, but we don't have to put that much pressure on ourselves as even using the internet nowadays. As to, I feel in the future, the reason why more people are using the internet in the future because it's got more customer service using the internet. I'm the customer, and I feel like, well, shit, how hard is it to keep the internet safe for everybody to use it nowadays? So in the future, people are going to be more safe on the subjects that are talking about online, to where I feel like the majority of the world wants to talk positive about the world online, to where, yeah, are we all haters? If I'm your best friend that came back alive from war and the best welcome back home is to call him a name online and bully him, then maybe I can understand the 1% violence in the world. But majority, I felt like, even though I was a shy, nervous guy, I'm nice to the students and I'm nice to the teachers, and I tried to get out some words and some sentences to whatever heck we was talking about in the classroom. So, back home for war, it's like, I served my country. Are you trying to tell me that living at war was easier for American soldiers and they having more good time serving their country, or like to come back home and act like, I feel like people live in America come to live to America because America is a really cool country. Yeah, every country got their own kind of faults or issues in their countries, but even every country's online has some kind of majority that everybody's trying to do positive thing in the world. So I feel like the reason why we should have technology is technology should increase a better life as easy for living on planet Earth. Technology makes it easier to live on planet Earth in the future. So as to saving people's lives online, we have a satellite that can view the whole world, basically, if you move that satellite in the right direction. I know it may take billions of dollars to move a satellite in outer space nowadays. So how many satellites do we really need? If we all share the same satellites in the world, we don't need that much satellites. And we get a stronger internet, and we only need the satellites that we could show on the satellites in the world as people. It's like you want to teach outer space, but you teach outer space. I feel like so far, I'm not putting down scientists or people, but you're not talking, you got to talk about outer space like the magical school bus. You know, I read the book Magical School Bus, and they went in outer space because they're on the magical school bus. And that book made it so cool that to go into outer space, that magical school bus. But the way you guys talk about outer space is shit. It's boring as hell, and it seems might as well stay on planet Earth because it's safer to live on planet Earth than live in outer space. But I feel like our technology in the future, everybody's going to be safe to live in outer space like Star Trek and Star Wars. Because we know how much energy it takes to grow a plant, to energy to grow food. We know how much energy, how much, I don't feel like the reason why they said on the, I try not to read everything on the internet, but I try to read something that makes sense. I feel like in the future, our internet, well, all you need is common sense to use the internet. How simple it is. How simple internet will be in the future. You only need common sense. To where I'm like, well, why would the law allow you to get in trouble then? Because they will get in trouble not keeping the internet safe in the first place, right? Because the law claims they're on the internet to keep the internet safe, but I feel like somehow the world still watch that 1% violence on you. And you can't, I don't know if the law looks at everybody as a bad guy on the internet, but I don't feel like everybody's a bad guy on the internet. So how can we keep ourselves safe where you claim the world is not safe enough to use the internet? I don't think that, if that's the advertisement that they use in the future, how many people are going to use the internet? The advertisement in the future is the internet is so safe to use, even sex and nudity is safe online in the future, and so people will have to fight about that too in the future. It's because the law kept us safe, right? For billions of people to know what nudity is sex 24 hours a day, because everybody's got a webcam nowadays. So I feel uncomfortable because I'm a veteran and I have combat PTSD, and it seems that you're going out of your way not to help me as a veteran as to how easy it is to help somebody that gets scammed by the internet, and you act like, I feel like I have a good heart, because, I could just go out and make a video and being all haters and all that, and being a hater myself, but I can't view the world like that. Who wants to travel the world to view the world as a bad internet? Nobody would travel the world because of the bad internet. So I feel like somebody is messing up the internet on purpose, the bad guys or something. I'm not sure. But it's hard to believe that I live in that much of a crooked world. If we came up with Roger Rabbit as, as a human being, a species, we came up with Roger Rabbit movie. We have came up with a lot of cool ideas on this planet for us to destroy our own planet. Because everybody sits there, are we that stupid enough as a life in outer space to destroy our own planet, and we can have a good life all around the world using the internet? So I highly doubt. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm an advertisement sometimes. I'm being treated like a learning example kind of thing. And now since you decided to label me and call me a name, and now you're allowed to bully me and treat me the way you guys treat me. And I'm like, is that how the world works? Once everybody learned about calling somebody bullied you and calling your name, you're not good friends to each other and family, and then stand up for each other as people in the world? Because that would suck, I feel like I try to party with everybody, and I may apologize if I don't know how to party with everybody back home as a veteran. But it's the same thing using the internet. So what is the law teaching the kids that use the internet? Oh, people just turn on you like that and give up on you as a person because you decided to use the internet one day and the law is incompetent to keep the internet safe. But billions of people have sex and nudity on the internet 24 hours a day online, but the law says you're not keeping it safe. So I got bullied and somebody called me a name and now it's like, wow, I didn't realize the crooked the world is. Because even when I was in the military, I still viewed the world as Commiso around the world. Oh, no, I may be at war, but not everybody's a bad guy at the war. So I try to stroll through life and skip around as Commiso. I jumped on the plane and I didn't realize I was on the plane until I realized I was on the plane going to war. I said, why didn't they have me dressed like this? What's going on here? They got me in gear. In the other planes, you're not allowed to dress in gear, but this plane is allowed to dress like gear. And somehow, I was like, just keep up with my battle buddies so I won't lose my battle buddies in the crowd and going getting off the plane. I said, these battle buddies must know where they're going, getting off the plane. I must follow these. They know where the defect is. I survived that war because I followed my battle buddies to the defect because they all act like I knew exactly where everything is when I went to war. Well, I was a tourist at war and didn't know where the defect is. And I figure, hey, the group of soldiers are going over here for something. That's must where the defect is to get food. That's how I survived the Commiso, survived war. I just followed my battle buddies at work. I said, we're going to the bar now? We're going to the club? No, we're still in the desert. I said, why is everybody mad? It's sad. Because we're living in the desert. I said, are we going to go to the bar anytime soon? No. That's the explosion. They made me the mailman at the war. I said, no, they really messing with me if they made me the mailman out in the convoy. I said, who wants to be the mailman? Everybody raised their hands and said, I'm going to be the mailman at war. Oh, they said, Commiso, you're the mailman. And I said, okay. And I just realized I didn't have a gunner on my truck. My truck is the biggest truck in the convoy. You might as well say hit me when I drive it. And then we had loud-ass trucks. I said, what's the point sitting down if you can hear us? They can hear our convoy 10,000 miles away. Because they know where everything is. And I'm just a tourist and I don't know where everything is in the desert. But everybody that lived there knows where everything is in the desert. So then we took the long way. We took the long way everywhere we went, traveling through. There's probably shortcuts through everywhere. All right. So they made me the mailman. And I come back home from war. It's like, what does everybody want from me? Because so far, I'm like, what can I tell myself what to do back home as a veteran? When can I make a decision on my own? I feel like the internet shouldn't be that complicated to be used. So, in the future, it's going to be more customer service because it's the only how we're going to keep the internet going is to have more customer service to where I highly doubt that people want to watch the 1% violence that messed up for everybody else has to, like people dying in car crashes. Is that what people want to watch? I highly doubt that. So I'm just saying I do not understand the law on the internet. You tell us to do something, but then the law allows the internet to get like destroyed or something. Well, I don't think sex and nudity should be a tough subject nowadays. As to the internet as a television, if you can't see the internet as a television, then you're not doing the math in your mind right. So I felt like I had to keep making YouTube videos over the years because, you know, eventually somebody's going to screw you over on the internet. I felt like how easy it is to get along with each other and everybody can have a good life all around the world on the internet. You still got somebody on the internet that it's like you try to stop a fight in school and have calm everybody down so there'll be no fights in school. But sometimes, I don't know if it's the media or whatever, you irritate that and keep the fight going in school. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So I highly doubt as simple as sex and nudity in the future. I don't feel like people are going to have that much confidence, you know? That I don't know if somebody's trying to destroy the internet because there's something wrong with you. So I apologize. If the law takes me the wrong way because I use the internet, it's like, well, I don't understand. The law is on the internet to keep you safe. So if 24 hours a day people use the webcam about nudity, sex online, how can anybody get mad over that damn? How much nudity and sex online, nobody will get mad about that. And even the law themselves. In the future, I guess. Maybe in the future. So, I'm not a bad friend. I don't feel like I'm trying to call people names on my YouTube channel, but I feel like I'm just standing up for myself as I was trained in the military to stand up for myself. And even on the wrestling team, you taught me how to stand up for myself on the wrestling team. So yeah, it seems that people just blame somebody in history and don't fix what's wrong with whatever everybody's getting mad about. Because I'm a human being. I feel like, well, nowadays you really don't have to go to college to learn that you're a human being. So I feel like majority of the world knows that they're human beings that use the internet. We accomplished on planet Earth over the years to realize, oh, there's human beings on the internet. It's a sci-fi movie. And we discovered the internet 1 hour ago. While the internet been around, I guess that's the Matrix. We discovered the internet right now, an hour ago, as people on planet Earth. I guess that's the Matrix. Even though people have been using the internet since the 90s on the internet, nobody knows what the internet is still today. That's a sci-fi movie. Where? I don't know what the internet wants from me. Because if all the internet does is scam people and hack people's computer and screw people's lives over, how far can we go in future if all we do is sit there and screw each other's lives over or using the internet? So, as I feel that I'm an American hero, I feel like my freedom of speech does matter as an American hero. Yes, I apologize. I didn't write down all my speeches and pronounce every word and every sentence the right way as you wanted me to do. As you all do yourselves, everybody pronounces words around the world exactly the right way, except for me, because I have a speech impediment. Yeah, right. I feel like everybody has, as people use the internet over the years, we all have trouble talking to each other as human beings on planet Earth. So, I don't know. I'm an American man living in an American land. And I feel like at least as an American man living in an American land, life should be the greatest place in the whole world back home for your veterans, right? You're American. I mean, seems like everybody's just cock blocking me from my life back home because you all went to college to learn how to cock block each other. Is that what people go to college for? To have better game at the party, to cock block each other and screw each other's lives over? Because you only can be the cool guy at the party. Is that how the internet works? Even the fact that the whole world's on the internet 24 hours a day, but the world don't see the world. And somehow the law is trying to teach me that I'm the only one that uses the internet. And I'm starting to believe the law that I'm the only one that uses the internet. Because I felt like that movie, is there anybody out there? Is anybody out there? I feel like I'm on Titanic when I use the internet. And the guys out there on the ocean saying, is there anybody out there? And they were so close to America, Titanic. So I have trouble believing the story of Titanic, where it seems like they could have flew in and saved Titanic.
No.
You had a crew that was trained in the Navy. They had a crew that was trained in the Navy. So I highly doubt that was the first time sailing in the ocean as the Navy in Titanic. Then you had a love story. Apparently we had a time that somebody could fall in love with. I felt like if he was on Titanic, nobody would have had time to fall in love with Titanic. The time to figure out that it was sailing on Titanic. Because it was a cruise ship. Titanic was like the first cruise ship to go to America. It was just a cruise. Everybody was just going to America in a cruise in Titanic. And you would figure, wow, there's a billionaire on Titanic. So you figure, damn, this ship is the safest place in the world if there's a billionaire that wants to make it to America on Titanic. So the story of Titanic doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, they try to say Titanic was super heavy. So you try to tell me a ship that heavy cruised all the way almost to America with even all that weight they had, and a little tiny goddamn iceberg that sank it in 4 hours or 2 hours? It took only 2 hours to take down a ship that sailed almost was a quarter or 10% away from America.
Again.
Then you're trying to tell me everybody felt, that's when I watched Titanic. I felt like everybody felt falling in love with Titanic lady in the movie. What's her name? No, that's why they couldn't figure out where the iceberg was. So there must be some kind of model on Titanic. I felt like there was some type of hot model that distracted the Navy and distracted the crew and distracted the people. That one lady made everybody fall in love, and somebody just said, fuck it, ran it into the iceberg. If I can't have the lady of the Titanic, then everybody's going down with me. That's how I felt when I was watching. Short time, that's when I was like Titanic. Everybody said, oh no, you will never fall in love with a lady like that. From the Scottish and the Irish. Oh no, you're never gonna go like that, the rich lady like that on Titanic. I'm trying to talk like the Irishmen. So they're Irish. And only Italian, I felt the only, if that was the case, I felt like the only guy that didn't fell in love on Titanic was the Italian guy. The Italian guy had and he dies in the end. The only Italian guy. If there's only one Italian guy on Titanic, he's the only one that didn't fall in love. Well, that would be some type of messed up Italian romantic movie. That the only guy that didn't fall in love was the Italian guy on Titanic. That's another thing when I watch Titanic. And then they start singing a song when the Titanic was going down. That's when I laughed really loud. They said, fuck it. We're all drunk and we're all chasing the same dame in the 20s. We're all going to die anyway, so might as well play some music when we go down. I said, you trying to tell me a billionaire went down with Titanic? So the story, I feel like when I read a book or watch a movie, I see the movie a different way as I read a book than everybody else. Not because I have a learning disability or speech impairment. I see the world a different way than everybody seems like. So you try to tell me everybody wakes up in the morning, use the internet, and decide to call each other names and be bullying each other and hate on each other for no reason. So everybody has no time to play PlayStation. Nobody has time to know what nudity is, sex, or life. So yes, I feel like I am the only one in the world on a sci-fi movie that uses the internet. And I'm on Titanic saying, is there anybody out there on the internet? And I'm like, are you trying to tell me they could have, I felt like they could have swam to America. Everybody takes a turn in the boat. You either swim with the boat or it's your time to go in the boat and now it's your time to swim. And they would have all made it to the other side. The story doesn't make sense because it took 2 hours to load Titanic. It took 2 hours to the cars, the luggage, everybody, the crew, everybody that had it took 2 hours. Every goddamn person loaded 2 hours. And they couldn't get off the damn Titanic in 2 hours. And they didn't have luggage. You try to tell me that I can't leave this ship till I figure out where the lost diamond, the diamond comes with me or goes down with the ship. Do I have to come back as a billionaire to get my diamond from the bottom of the ocean? Or do I take the diamond with me? If that was the major discussion on Titanic as a billionaire, I would feel like a billionaire would say, they're going to make it my fault because I'm a billionaire on Titanic. They said, you got all this money and you couldn't figure out how to save everybody on Titanic because you're a billionaire. So the story doesn't make any sense. They said, I would be like, if I was a billionaire on Titanic, I have to bring everybody alive to America. And they won't believe me because I'm a billionaire. I don't know if money makes people happy, but I don't know, being a billionaire on Titanic must have been a hard discovery or decision to me. So I feel like everybody should have got off of Titanic in less than 2 hours. Because they didn't have the luggage, they didn't have the car. I feel like, well, if few people died on Titanic, it's because they didn't escape the doors coming down. They said, we have to close the doors now. And the people that was trapped, I feel like they're the ones that must have got trapped on Titanic because they had to close the door. So everybody survived because the crew closed the doors and got everybody off. And somehow they had to make some story in the newspaper because people everything don't goes to the newspaper as to where I don't know how everybody's talking about each other online. So you may look at Titanic and say, damn, they didn't have time to get off the Titanic. And they're singing songs, they smoking weed on Titanic, they had alcohol on Titanic. I feel like a Navy crew would have kept, how many people, 2,000 people on Titanic alive? They said, everybody, stay away. They probably have they would have an instruction. Everybody had it probably in instructions what they had to do on Titanic before they went on it, because it was a Navy. I feel like the Navy been sailing the seas for years now as the Navy in the world. So, she wants me to trade. Hey, and then she feel like that's fine. Something's not adding up to Titanic stories. If they had all that time to fall in love with one lady and the Italian guy couldn't figure out how to get love on Titanic, I feel like, yeah, I'm an Italian-Irish guy. I'm an American. I'll be the Italian-Irish-American guy on Titanic and be all lost. I'll be lost on Titanic. I'll be walking down the hall. I'll be stoned in the Titanic. And they gave me some shots. They said, Commiso, here's some shots for you at the bar in Titanic. I said, okay. And I'll be zoning through the hallways. Everybody said, where's Commiso on Titanic? Commiso, it's time to get off the ship now, Titanic. And I'll be like, what's going on? Where's this water coming from? They must have figured out how to put a pool on this Titanic, and this is where you swim. And I said, damn, this fucking water's freezing. Everybody's off Titanic, and I'll be the only one. The Italian guy got lost. He was so into the art that he was trying to paint the 16th chapel on Titanic, and he's the only one that went down with. It was the Italian man. He said, I'm going to try to paint the 16th chapel before we land to America on Titanic. And everybody said, come on, you don't have to do it. Come on, Italian guy on Titanic. You don't have to paint the 16th chapel on Titanic. You don't have to go down with the ship like Italian guy. You don't have to finish the last drawing on the 16th chapel. Why don't you just get done with it with the 16th chapel? It took all these years to paint the 16th chapel on Titanic. And it was time to get off the Titanic. And they couldn't figure out what to tell the news. Because I feel like if I was on Titanic, they got billionaires on. I said, well, at least the billionaires is comfortable enough to hang with the peasants on third class on Titanic. I feel like you'd be a nice guy, you're a billionaire on Titanic, if you're allowed to party with the third class and everything in the 20s. So that's how I feel back home for war. It doesn't add up. The story doesn't add up. And now everybody like, I can't believe that the world is that crooked and everybody actually bully each other that much. So maybe it is true. Everybody falling in love with one person, and the captain, even the captain, fell in love with the lady on Titanic, and said, "Oh, what's her name again on Titanic?" And not Jenny. It was like some kind of Rose. Everybody fell in love with Rose on Titanic. So the captain said, if I can't have love on Titanic, I'm going to ram this Titanic in the iceberg. Maybe the billionaire didn't want to live because he couldn't fall in love with the lady on Titanic. That's what I got out of the movie Titanic. You know, acting like, oh, we're with these ladies at the party, but everybody's looking at Rose and Titanic. Even the captain would say, well, hey, why can't I take Rose on? It's my turn. They said, we're going to speed up Titanic then, and I want to get off. We're going to ram this thing in the iceberg before we even land in America. Because we all fell in love with Rose on Titanic. The only Italian guy who sank with Titanic, painting the 16 chapel. So, I don't know how tough it is to go on cruises now, but after watching Titanic and this other movie, they flipped the ship upside down. You ever watch that movie? I forgot what it's called. Everybody had to climb to the bottom of the ship because that's where the water was, because somehow this big giant goddamn ship somehow flipped over and they all had to sign. So only a few people survived. I said, maybe it's the sign. You ever heard that song, I saw the sign and it opened up my eyes? Well, I feel like that's not exactly a cruise advertisement of Titanic of getting flipped over in the ship. So I don't know if I want to go on a cruise watching Titanic. And I'm like, yeah, you have fun a little bit on Titanic. I get that part. If that's what's the whole point of it. Then not everybody had a bad time. We were going to keep on sailing around the world because not everybody had a bad time on Titanic. Only a few people had a bad time on Titanic. But we can't allow that to stop us making more ships and sailing around the world. So, I don't know how uptight of the subject is on nudity of sex, but I feel like in the future that the whole purpose of the law or whatever monitoring the internet is, we don't have to worry about stuff like that because we're smart enough as life on planet Earth to keep the internet safe. So I don't know if I don't know what's going on. Because if people have the balls to even bully a soldier after 9/11, I'm really confused about the internet. Because, like I said, everybody acts like I know about everybody, and I saw this much on the internet, and now everybody's sitting there trying to take me out and screw me over because I know this much information about the world on the internet. No, I'm the goofy guy. Somehow get bad pop-up sites and get my computer scam hacked, and I only saw this much internet. And I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? You act like I need to see this much to know the internet. You only need that much to know the internet. And I'm like, this seems like nobody really gave a chance to Commiso back home. I don't know if my family takes me the wrong way because I'm a veteran or a goofball or a goofy guy. Do people take goofy people the wrong way? Because I feel like, well, for a person to go on YouTube and make a fool out of themselves over the years, this guy is a goofy person. I feel like that's what I would think what people will say, this guy is goofy. So, I'm just trying, if a goofy guy could travel around the world and survive all that bullshit that everybody's talking about, and you hacked I felt like everybody at war hacked my computer, so I think by now the whole world must have hacked my computer by now. But I didn't know living on the internet was that deep. I'm stressed out. I'm trying to calm down. I'm 40, and I'm not exactly in shape as I was when I was a teenage. I'm old now. It's possible for even Commiso to get old on this planet. Yeah, everybody's having a hard time trying to figure out how did Commiso get old on this planet. And I don't know either. Because I don't feel like the time is right in the first place. You all decided to stare in the sky and see a sun. So you're just timing that sun that goes around and around and around and around. How they said the planet Earth was going, the sun was going around the planet. It's because that's how it looks in the sky. But in outer space, it's the planet going around the sun. How big the sun is, it must have looked like that when he started. It said, are you trying to say the only reason why people had to die and get in trouble because they wasn't looking in the sky in the right way and saying, it may look like the sun it is going around the planet. It's because that's how big the sun is. So I guess over the years, they had better math, and now there's people in outer space that can do math off the planet. If they have to, I feel like if they have to come up with math in outer space, they have to be in outer space to come up with math in outer space. They can't use, people in outer space can't use the math on planet Earth. They said, they taught me math on planet Earth all these years, but now they said, we have some kind of different type of math in outer space. I said, damn, every time you feel like you get good at something, there's something better. Something good. So when I watch YouTube, and I see everybody's, man, there's a lot of goddamn talent. Where all this talent come from on the internet? And I'm trying to keep up with the talent that's on the internet. And I don't know if I am. So, but everything I do is just like, I feel like everybody's taking me the wrong way on purpose. And I'm like, wow, man. I wonder why it's so hard to breathe on this planet. Why can't everybody just give us each other a break on the bullshit or hating each other for no damn reason where, shit. I guess we realize that's a big giant, a fireball. They called the sun, and there's some type of star, but that's a big giant fireball, bigger than the plane. So they say there's no gravity in outer space. I feel like gravity is so strong, there's no gravity in outer space as they have black holes, and there's an orbit around the sun. So if there's no gravity, what's keeping us getting pulled into the sun? So everybody's worried about who's cool enough to be naked and sex online or whatever, bullshit or whatever, how easy it is to keep the internet safe by now. But when I look into outer space, I'm like, well, the TV shows, I watch the universe, or how the universe works. And I'm saying, well, they said there's a gravitational pull. And the bigger planets got a stronger gravitational pull than the smaller planet. But there's some type of some kind of pull. Physics is the same physics work as physics on planet Earth. Apparently not. I feel like you have to do some different type of physics. How fast something's coming to your planet, how fast do we have to duck it? But we can't really duck, can we?
That's right.
So, I feel like we're smart enough to keep this planet alive if we have artificial intelligence walking the streets as robots. Man, there are times where I didn't even know I was talking to an artificial robot. In the future, in the grocery store, a robot just came up and talked to me. And I didn't even know it was a robot. And now everybody's going to take me the wrong way as the white man that grows. And the robot's going to take the white man the wrong way too as the white robot.
They were laughing at
Because I didn't even know he was a robot. How's that my fault? So, I don't know how hard it is for people to, I don't know. Maybe I think I prefer to talk to the robots then. Because if it's that hard to talk to people on the internet, if there's robots, man, I don't know. I just say talk about robot things, I guess, with the robot. And they said, I'm already a robot. Why do we have to talk about robots if I'm already... I don't know, man. And then the robots will have... then I have to go to the aliens from outer space because the robots are having trouble talking to Commiso in the grocery store. So I feel like that's the internet. Even the robots, the aliens use the internet, couldn't figure out how to use the internet by now. I don't know. If that's the case, I don't know how there's life. The way they explain outer space, it's impossible that there's life in outer space at all. The way they explain outer space, that's it. Shit. That means somehow where everything's out of balance. I feel like you have to be in balance to have life. We have the perfect, we're far enough from the sun to have heat that won't burn the planet. Then we have enough balance to have an ozone layer, and there's oxygen on this planet, and there's no oxygen in outer space. So what the heck everybody's fighting about on the internet? Because it's impossible that if you wanted to know, that's how they talk. I said, if you want to get really deep like that, talking about outer space, I'll be like, shit, it's impossible that there was life in outer space. And I'll be like, shit, what the heck everybody's fighting about on planet Earth as a scientist? And somehow Commiso becomes a scientist. That's be my first question as a scientist. If we all taught each other that it's a miracle that there's life in outer space, shit, everybody be chilling playing PlayStation and using the internet when they're well and chilling.
Okay, good to see you, Deb.
So, if people teach each other where all the cool video games online, I feel like to play the video games, they got sites that talk about video games on the internet. And so now everybody knows how to play a video game or how to know what a video game is. So each subject got their own subject on the internet. But it hurt my feelings that people think, or the few people think that I won't be a good dad one day as an American hero back. And I feel like, well, even if that's what everybody's trying to teach each other on this planet, you could try your hardest. But even when you try the hardest in the world, there's still people still put you down and is hard on you. And you still have a hard life and screw your life over. So when I use the internet, I feel like I'm trying my best to use the internet. But somehow I feel like people know that I'm a veteran and know that I'm like a Commiso online, and somehow, I don't know, a few haters go on my computer and hack my computer and screw me over and scare me. And I'm like, I didn't know it was going to be like that as a veteran back home. I feel like, because you made a big deal of me being an American soldier after 9/11. Everybody said everybody needs to get to the point on the internet. What's the point? That everybody's an asshole? We all know how to get along back in the day on the internet, but so now we all can scam each other and hack each other and whatever. I don't think when I watched the movie Hackers, I don't felt like that was the meaning of the movie, Hackers. It felt like, damn, everybody worked together trying to fix the internet in the movie. I don't know if it takes all the hackers in the world to fix the internet, but it felt like that's the whole meaning. All we have to do is fix the internet. And everybody be chill. That's what I got watching Hackers. But no, you all watch Hackers and say, wow, I didn't know you could do that with the internet, being a hacker. And I'm like, I don't know I didn't even I had trouble reading books in school. When they said it's time to read a book, I didn't mind reading a book, but I know I have trouble reading books. So I watch movies. Yeah, how much movies and TV nowadays on the internet? I felt like, damn, I didn't watch any movies. I said, man, I'd watched all the movies already, but I didn't. Compared to the internet, there's movies that I didn't even know about on the internet because there's so much different types of movies in it because of the internet nowadays, because everybody wants to be a movie star. So when people look at the celebrities, they look up to the celebrities saying, it'd be cool to be a movie star like the movie star in the movies. So I guess that's the majority of the world is trying to be a movie star because everybody figure out how to make a YouTube video. So yeah. We already losing oxygen on this planet because there should be more oxygen on this planet. So I feel like the planet has some kind of agreement with the sun and the agreement of the other planets, and the planet wants to live. So everybody acts like they're the biggest thing on the internet, but if you do the math that they have in outer space, our planet, the reason why they can't find life on planet Earth, because our planet's so small, we're smaller than stars. We're smaller than most of the planets. They can't see us because our planet is so goddamn small. So if our planet is so small to notice that there's life in outer space, that means as a human being, I'm like a insect, a bug in outer space as planet Earth. So outer space knew what they were. I don't think they know. Even outer space didn't know what they were doing when they created life in outer space. Because outer space is I feel like that outer space is all unbalanced, so where you have to be in balance to have life. I think that's how simple life is. We're just a planet that is in the right spot at the right time to have life on planet Earth. That's how they explain outer space. Shit, that means we're the luckiest motherfuckers in outer space because there's life on this planet. So why is everybody mad on the internet and angry? And we're lucky that there's life in outer space. But as I see it, well, in the state of New Jersey, it's legal to be a nudist. It's legal to be a nudist in the state of New Jersey. So if you all, I feel like people use the internet to travel the world. I feel like most of the world, internet, now we can travel the world because of the internet. Got GPSs and we can get where we need to be because of the internet. So everybody's a tourist on the internet. So in the state of New Jersey, what do you expect everybody to do? According to the state, I'm allowed to be naked on the internet as a nudist, but you're going to sit there and get mad at me. And I'm like, who's stupid here? Because in the state of New Jersey, you're allowed to be a nudist on the internet too, right? If everybody's taking pictures of their traveling to the nudist places or nudist resorts, because I feel like there's going to be more nudist resorts and beaches in the future. I don't think you're looking at nudity at court like you're supposed to, because you want to get mad at me. The more you get mad at me, the more you feel like it's okay to talk to me and disrespect me as a soldier after 9/11. So I feel like the laws should be smart enough to know, well, in the state of New Jersey, if everybody's allowed to be a nudist on the internet because they're traveling the world, and it's legal to be a nudist on the internet. So it sucks that, it feels like, is the law trying to tell me only the law is allowed to be a nudist because they are more smart enough than me to be more, they're more responsible with sex and nudity as the law to go to a nudist beach in the resort on the internet and use the sites. They're more responsible because they're the law that used to monitoring the internet in the site. And I'm a soldier after 9/11. So I feel like I just try. I'm like, yeah, see back, I don't know if it's how cool. If people tell each other what cool games to play on the internet, I feel like everybody tell each other where all the cool sites are for nudity and sex is. So if you do the math, everybody won't get mad over sex and nudity. And you overreacted on purpose to get mad at me, and I feel like you're trying to rob me. That's why you're trying to make me look bad and make you feel so good about yourself to rob a soldier after 9/11. Because I feel like the only reason why people hate on each other is because you want to rob each other and steal from each other on the internet. And how can you be friends to each other if all people do is steal from each other and rob from each other? So I don't feel like the internet is not going to be like that in the future. Because I took history classes. I took math classes and English. I had trouble with. I felt like the hardest subject for me was English because I had trouble pronouncing the bigger words. So I tried to look smart when in the English. I said, as long as I can figure out how to spell this word at the time they needed me to spell this word, I'll be okay. And they won't realize I have a speech impediment in the class.
Television.
But I feel like as you all make each other as an adult on the internet, we lose our education as we grow older. Not everybody gets a chance to be going to school their whole lives as college. Even going to college ends eventually. Unless you're some kind of person, everybody's trying to figure out what the heck is this person doing in college. And I've been in college for years, and they try to figure, Commiso, you got to stay in college until we figure out what you are in outer space or planet. Don't worry, we're going to give you free education just to figure out all these years and everything. But it shouldn't be impossible to have life in outer space when there's life in outer space now. But it is. They try to say that this planet is living on the edge. As they sing the song, living on the edge, Aerosmith. Our planet is so delicate in outer space, anytime we could go. So I feel like shit. Everybody should be happy and having a good day every time they wake up the next day on planet Earth. That's every time I watch. That's just shit. I thought outer space was like magical school bus. I said, it should be fun traveling in outer space and watching Star Trek and the Star Wars. No, according to the scientists, we're lucky there's a piece of ball that has life on it in outer space. Where there's some kind of dust ball floating in outer space. Hoot in the Who, I watched that Hoot in the Who. It was Jim Carrey. He was an elephant, and he discovered that there was life on the planet, on a flower. That's us. We're just life on the flower in outer space. And any false move we make, our planet will have no life on it. That's when I watched. I said, damn, I didn't know it was that deep in outer space. That's that shit. I thought going to the magic, all this, when you travel in outer space, you can see the stars better. You can see the planet better. Man, you can have a good time. And then you watch all these other movies, people. I said, you don't have to See, back in the day, everybody was rushing to get to outer space. They must have watched a lot of Alien. Everybody was stoned in the 60s watching alien movies, and everybody around the world said, we got to get off this planet. So we shot a rocket in outer space. And you're all rushing to get off this planet because they were all stoned in the 60s. And that's why we came up with NASA. So I feel like technology hasn't evolved enough for us to, damn, I wanted to travel in outer space one day, but if it's that hard to get to outer space, you gotta rush. We don't have to rush anymore. There's already people in outer space. So you can build a better rocket ship. How much energy does it really need to take to, I guess because of the weight of the planes? But there's planes that can get close to outer space. And we could just fly up there like in a plane. And we don't have to shoot a rocket in outer space. Everybody can just cruise through the outer space in a plane going in outer, like the magical school bus. Yeah, you ever watch Fast and the Furious? And they shot a car in outer space in Fast and the Furious? I said, they're going to make a track on the moon. And in Fast and the Furious, they're going to have a track on the moon. So we will be in the future, and all the Fast and the Future movies we made over the years, we're going to be racing on the moon to see who has the territory on moon to race around in Fast and the Furious cars. Everybody be floating. I think it'd be unless you try to, we all be floating. Because if you go too fast, you fly too out of far away from the moon. Man, it must be super hard to build a track on the moon. Anybody in the whole world, because everybody be floating off the moon. There's only I don't know. If you kick off the moon, if you can't jump too high on moon, if you jump too high, you float away from the moon. So, shit. Everybody's all fighting on this planet. And there's no magical school bus like they told me in school that you can ride and go in outer space and have a good day. And a field trip in school. So we all got to face the reality, I guess. Is that what's going on with the internet? But Commiso don't want to face the reality. If everybody faced the reality back in the day, then they would have came up with a rocket ship to shoot somebody in outer space. Everybody saying, these aliens look real in the movie. And everybody said, man, we got to build something to get off this planet. If aliens look real in the movies in the 60s, imagine the graphics in the 60s. Then compared to now with the green screen in the movie. So man, sitting around in the 60s watching alien movies, saying we got to get off this planet. That'd be funny if I was born, if I was around the 60s. Imagine being Commiso in the 60s. I'd be like, I want to be in outer space too. Why can't I go? They say you're not smart enough to fly in out, but you taught a chimpanzee to fly in outer space. How hard is it to fly in outer space? I'll be the guy. I'll be that guy in the movie that I just touch one button and the whole spaceship falls apart. You told me to push that button, you jerk off. It's not my fault that you build a spaceship that can't handle me pushing a button. I'd be like, you put me on a spaceship that I push a button, you can't figure out how to, it just falls apart when I push a button. I think that was the meaning of the movie. You had to build a better spaceship. When you push a button, it won't fall apart on you. So I just say, beggars, maybe if we have built an internet, and then we push a button, and all of a sudden the internet falls apart on you. That's not my fault back home as a veteran. I push a button and the internet falls apart on your computer. But I was trying to serve my country. Yeah? That's Commiso, the best of my ability. So, yeah, I get it. Everybody's got some kind of curse words they use. Everybody's cursing nowadays. You know what? But I feel like I said fuck you in a respectful way as a Commiso, to where I feel like, wow, man. I felt like I should have threw a baseball in a baseball field as a veteran and see if one of the baseball teams would take me. But now I'm 40 years old and I'll be the oldest guy and I won't be able to run like Babe Ruth and say, I got a hernia. I can't run as fast as I could when I was younger. And I try to hit homers. I try to hit homers so I don't have to run. I try. All I have to do is practice hitting a homer. And once I figure out I hit a homer, then how hard is it to get a homer from every pitcher? I guess every pitcher got some kind of throw they got. Well, I feel like Babe Ruth must have said, I know why you gave me this pitcher for a reason. As Babe Ruth was saying, they try to find a pitcher and saying that I won't be able to get a homer from this pitcher because he's some kind of famous pitcher. I'll be like Babe Ruth. I said, as long as you can see the ball, all you have to do is follow the ball and where it goes. Well, I guess people over the year, they taught each other how to throw a baseball over 100 miles per hour. I think everybody will have trouble hitting the ball or throwing it. But I'll be like, there's got to be a way to hit a 100 mile per hour ball. I just got to hit that damn thing. That ball going that fast, anybody can hit a homer because the ball is going so fast. You all have to do is hit that ball in the right spot on the ball, and everybody can get a homer. Because the speed of the ball, you can just tap that thing. But Babe Ruth saying, no, you want to give me a good picture now when I'm old? And I'm trying to get the Hall of Fame ring like everybody else? Because I deserve a Hall of Fame ring too as Babe Ruth. All these years I gave all these goddamn homers for so they all can have a win in there and everything. So I'm like, I try to really hit that ball really fucking hard. But I'm out of shape. So time anybody do anything for the veterans back home. I'm going to be 80 years old sitting in them. Hey, are you a veteran from this time? You got invited to sit down at this place. You want to come, little 80-year-old veteran? You want to come to a little cookout? Little 80-year-old veterans with the other veterans and listen to people speak on the stage. Say, good job, little veteran. At 80 years old, and I'm like, about time. I was waiting all these years until I get invited to one of these speeches, and now I'm 80, and I'm like, I don't want to go now. Every veteran in the stadium is looking, why the hell am I here? I'm 80 years old now. Now they want me to go outside as a veteran. So every time you see all the veterans sitting in the audience, it looks like every veteran is pissed off being there. Because you all invited them when they were 80 years old. And so I had a routine today, and they wanted to send me to this little speech for veterans and make me proud that I'm a veteran at 80 years old. And I was trying to watch cartoons. And then this Cartoon Network is back on. When I was a kid, you had Cartoon Network. It's not back on when you're 80 years old. And you try to watch cartoons because you say, I can't believe it. people have that much drama, and so you only want to watch cartoons on the internet in the future.
Yes. And it's fun.
They even say it's hard to join a sorority. Or that's the girls, or what's the other one? I tried to join the sorority in college. Say you're a guy. Yeah, but the other ones, they all dudes, and the other ones, you're all girls, and this one.
That's my one.
You know, I was in basic training. I was on the wrestling team. I had to wrestle a dude. You know, I was in basic training. It was all dudes in the barracks. And now you want to go to college and live with more dudes and then spank each other in college, and nobody would judge you. You're spanking each other because you're in college. That sucks. You have to go to college and spank each other so nobody judge each other. And I'm like, can I hang with the ladies? I don't have a girlfriend. That might be. I might have trouble with the. You know, I don't know. If I have really, all you need is really good teachers. You know, if you get really good teachers, teachers can teach anybody. So I feel like over the years living on this planet, there's a tough enough professor to have a class with Commiso. There's a professor that wants to get to know me as the goofy guy, and I said, I'm in basic training. As long as I don't get the professor mad in classroom, then everything be okay, and the drill sergeant will get along with me in basic training. That's the thing I was saying to myself. I said, how the heck I got to basic training? I thought, yeah, they said the drill sergeant yell at you. I didn't know drill sergeant yell at you just like that. That's the shit. I thought I said, hey, the people, I'm going to have fun in basic training. No, I'm not. I said, I better shoot down this fucking range so the drill sergeant won't fucking start yelling at me that I have a weapon. I said, how you yell at a person with a weapon? But the drill sergeant's yelling at me. And I said, I just want to hurry up and go to sleep and shoot down the range, drill sergeant. I said, they teach me how to put a quarter on the barrel. They said, you will finish this class if you learn not to drop the quarter. They said, I can do this. This is not so hard. So I said, and then drill sergeant keep looking. Drill sergeant, I did it. I balanced the quarter and I shoot and I did. I charged it back. I said, it's going to drop now. And I charged it forward again. It's going to drop now. And I said, here it goes. It's going to drop. No, it did. Yes. The drill sergeant won't yell at me today. And I keep looking at my drill sergeant. I said, drill sergeant, you don't see? We're happy now, drill sergeant. The quarter is balancing off the mat. Man, I'm really good at it. I don't know what the drill sergeant thought it would. Imagine being me in basic training. I don't know what the drill sergeant thought of me being in basic training. That's Commiso. I said, don't yell at me today. I feel like I'm the first one up in the barracks. I'm the first one that shaves in the morning. I'm the first one that used the bathroom. Nobody's around to use the bathroom. I tie myself to crap in basic training so nobody's around when I crap in the barracks. I tie myself to sleep so that I know when to get up. And hopefully I had enough sleep today in the barracks. I was always outside for mostly everybody. The damn music, the song didn't even go off yet. And I see everybody all strolling through everybody's taking their time through the barracks. I said, I'm alright, I'm already out. You You know, I'm already out before everybody. I said, nobody's going to yell at me today. I'm the first one out here. That song didn't go off yet. People didn't even start making formation yet, and I'm out here. It's super hot again. It's nighttime and it's hot out. It's Fort Jackson. They tell me it's hot in Fort Jackson, and it was hot in Fort Jackson. And I'm from New Jersey, and I sweat. Ask Commiso. So imagine how much I sweat in basic training. I look super, when I was in basic training, I lost so much weight in basic training, I look super skinny in basic. That's how much sweat. I sweat. I feel like right now, this is all water. This is all water. If I sweat a whole lot, I can lose weight super fast. Because this is all water in my body. So, serve your country, I feel like, wow, that's like when I'm 80 years old. I can talk about it when I'm in 80s and when I was I'm a veteran. But no, it's like, I'm 40. I was 19 years old when I went in the military. So I was technically a young chap in America. It's like, man, you know what? I may not accomplish a lot, or maybe I have to accomplish more, or it's not enough for everyone. But I served my country. And you all get mad that I bring it up at the party or something, that I'm a veteran. But I could talk about me being a veteran the rest of my life if I really wanted to. And everybody wants to have an adventure. I feel like when people use the internet, they want to have an adventure and be safe and travel the world on the internet. So when I traveled the world and served my country, I felt like Indiana Jones in the movie. I said, wow. It would have been cool to see that it was a library, but it was a church. It was a church before a library in Venice, Italy. And that would have been the only that place in Paris. If I get a chance to go to Paris, I would go to the Eiffel Tower. I said, damn, that's cool. Because that tower been there for years. They might have to see if the tower's still strong, if the tower been up that long. But don't take it down. Then you got the Liam. I'll be the goof. You ever watch Euro Trip? I'm the guy with the camera trying to take pictures in every country that I went in the movie Euro Trip, and then don't realize how much fun I have. That's what I do. Yeah, imagine all the fun Commiso traveling around serving his country on the internet, and now everybody's like, wow, man, it's so hard to live on the internet in America. I don't feel like that. It's weird. So yeah, life shouldn't be that complicated to live on the internet or as planet Earth in outer space. We all just realize even storms on this planet takes out the human being. So I feel like maybe, well, if we're that small in outer space and we still can't survive weathers as people, I think people need to come together and show out so we can learn how to survive weathers even as people. Or even simplest things as practice safe sex online. How hard is it to practice safe sex online? But people get bullied over the word sex. There's so much sex online, only one person gets bullied. So you all keep that 99% nudity going on the internet. So, but I am a artist. You see, I know that, yeah, I did not draw or paint some crazy art for people to remember. But if people actually give me the space and time to draw and do art like I did in classroom, I was uncomfortable. When people looked at me in the classroom, I felt like I could draw better at home because in the classroom, everybody's just staring at you. And sometimes I'm like, are you looking to try to see how to draw, to copy how I draw? And I'm like, man, am I a good drawer now because they're looking at me and making me nervous? So I have panic attacks and anxiety. Not just because I'm a shy, nervous guy, but I also serve my country. So veterans living on the edge, and they can't help themselves as veterans, as Aerosmith will say. For one, y'all act like y'all make it so comfortable for veterans to come home to, where you holy shit, they always try to find out what's wrong with you all the time, and I'm like, why can't they just party with me back home and hang with me instead of always something with find out what's wrong with the veteran back? So every time I feel like I'm going to the grocery store or anywhere, it feels like, oh, he's a veteran. There's something wrong with him because he's a veteran. So nobody can't learn how to hang with veterans back home. So as an uptight person that tried to get A's and B's in math in high school, I'd be the number one patient to smoke medical marijuana because I probably really need that in real life. As I took the time to get A's and B's and how hard it was with my speech impairment to try to take a test with my speech impairment and can't pronounce the word that I really wanted to say right down on paper. I knew what to say when he here's the written part of the test. I said, oh, I see why they said do the written part last. Because they try to remember all the answers to fill in the circles, and now you got to write about something. And I'm like, oh, I can't get out the word. I don't know what to say. So you try to find the simplest words to try to explain what you did on your test or the math test or whatever. Because they said after you did the math part, written part, you also have to explain why you did this in the math. And I'm like, I'm on the wrestling team, and pretty soon I got a tournament after this test you're giving me. What happened in American movies? Oh, you got the varsity letter. Now all the teachers going to be easy with you in the classes and get you to the gym so you can chill before the tournament and relax. No, I was distracted by everything as a teenager in school. So time I got to the wrestling mat, I felt like I zoned out. I said, I was tired, hungry, thirsty, and sometimes I felt like I was floating on the wrestling mat. I was just floating. It was like, wee! I was like over here. They threw me over here. Everybody threw me over here. So I was zoned out. I said, I'm just flying around on the mat. Everybody's trying to throw me all around on the mat. And so at times I was just zoned out. I said, Coach, I don't know what to do, Coach. You're about to make me a senior? I'm going to be a senior on the wrestling team? Coach, I can't see the wrestler. I'm blind when I take off my glasses. Coach, why is he beating me up? I just got on the mat, Coach. So I just felt like I was flying all over the back. And I said, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm just flying. So, it's because I was, at the time, I was taking a test in my head on the wrestling mat. So on top of me being a wrestler, I was trying, I got to remember that answer. I got to remember that answer. Oh, they're going to beat me up today. They try to give me a hard wrestler today. They're going to beat me up on the wrestling mat. And what's that answer? I almost forgot that answer because they have to wrestle this guy today. Everybody's calling me my name. Commiso, you can do it. Commiso. So I go looking around. Who's calling my name? Because I felt like I think I had a concussion on the wrestling team. You guys really try to beat me up every time I went on the wrestler. Every wrestler you put me against tried to beat me up on the wrestling team. And I got hit in the head so many times, so there was times where I felt like I had a cushion and my mind turns off. I feel like sometimes my mind just turns off and it comes back on again. I said, where's my mind? My mind had to go somewhere and take a break from my mind. If you're Commiso and your mind is like my mind, your mind has to take a break from Commiso mind, as Commiso mind has to take a break from Commiso mind too. So, I don't know, I feel like I try all the time though. So, I tried the hardest on the wrestling team. I said, man, they're getting better and better. I don't know how I'll be in the college if everybody keeps getting better and better. And I'm tired and hungry. And I'm like, man, it seems like the heavier wrestlers, they can pin the people fast because they're heavy. He said, why don't they make me heavy? And I can be like them. All I have to do is put on my weight and pin them. And everything. Have you ever saw the heavier... The pins, they don't wrestle that long, the heavy matches. They're like sumo wrestlers, whoever falls down. Whoever falls down loses. That's the rest of how So going, I just need some more weight on the wrestling, see? God want me to build all these muscles, but I don't have any weight. And I was light, and I'm like, I know I can pin this guy. I picked up the heaviest kid on the wrestling team. So why can't I pin this guy? It's because I was zoned out. I was like, you all gave me all these hard questions and then people bully you when you're on the wrestling team and saying you only want to wrestle because you want to touch guys. And I'm like, what the heck's that mean? That must have bothered. I think people said things so I can mess up on the wrestling. I was really good a wrestler. I don't know if I could have wrestled Olympics, but I was a really good wrestler, and everybody had a hard time. It didn't matter who you were. Every single person had a hard time wrestling with Commiso, and I felt like Blue. You ever watch that football movie? Was it Varsity Blue? That fat guy had a concussion, and he said if he get hits again, he would die. I was Blue in the football field. I got hit so many times. I was Blue on the football. I said, I'm trying, Coach, I'm taking all the blows, Coach. I can't take any more. Yes, you can. Oh, I can. That was me on the wrestling team. So I was getting all slammed on the mat and I was like, ow. I said, you can't say ow on the wrestling team. They all get mad at you. Say, where you get over? They try to break me on every wrestling mat that I went on. But I know that I was strong because I worked out in the summer with my dad, and I worked out every week. I could have been it. I think I wore out myself before I got to the wrestling, man. On top of having wrestling practice on the weekends, I had a good time in working out by myself and training in the gym. So on top of going to wrestling practice, I worked out on the weekends, and I was curling heavier and heavier and heavier. And I said, yeah, okay, I know I can do this. I know. But I had no weight. I was 160 all the way my junior year. I was 160 my freshman year. I was 160 my sophomore year. I was 160 my junior year. So I said my senior year, holy crap, everybody's going to beat the crap out of me if I was 160. I can't be 160 with senior year. I gotta gain weight somehow. So I was like, I don't know if I could have handled the pressure of being a senior wrestler at UNT High School at the time when we was winning every matches. Every match we went, we was winning all the schools, we was winning all the tournaments as UNT High School was winning all the time, and I was like, I don't want to lose. I see they're going to beat the crap out of me in the senior year, and I'm 160. Anybody could beat a crap out of 160 guy on the wrestling mat. So, I'm fat now, John. I don't think people can pick me up as easily on the wrestling mat as heavy as I am. But I'll probably be, listen to Coach. Coach is blue. I can't get a hit in the head, Coach. Coach, I can't get a hit in the head. Why are you going to make me call it a football, man? I can't get a hit in the head, Coach. So, I apologize if I didn't wrestle my senior year, and people called me a name back home and try to bully me and saying I won't be a good dad one day. And I'm like, Coach, I can't get in the head. Blue, you're my boy, Blue. I can't get in the head. Coach, everybody's tackling me on the field. Every time I go on the field, they tackle anybody else but me, Coach. Why just me? So, I felt like that as a veteran back home. I said, even Commiso, it was hard for me too at war. Yeah, it made it look like I was having my best amount of time of my life making goofy videos at war. Maybe that's why some people got upset that I was having laughter at war. I had laughter at war, and people got upset with me. I just felt like it was the good thing at the time to do at war. I said, man, we're still at war. What are we doing? And I just start making goofy videos, and I try, and everybody, my battle buddies join in my video. I was trying to get all my battle buddies to join in to make a goofy video at war. I said, where everybody's happy again at the clubs and the bar. Once I got, when we was done the tour at war and we got back to Europe, I said, Europe, I love you, Europe. I try to have a Euro trip. I love you, Europe. I want to see the Queen at London. It's not a queen no more, I guess. It's a king. But it would be cool to meet the Queen for some reason. It could be cool to meet the king. They probably beat me up if I said something wrong to the king. And I'm like, I apologize. I'm from New Jersey, king. How much respect you give each other. I'm from New Jersey. So I feel like I accomplished a lot and everything. And yeah, I know you're supposed to accomplish more in life. But I felt like I was trying to, at least on the internet, to accomplish more in life. But it sucks that there is a law that forces you to get in trouble online for on purpose. I think that this sucks. So I don't know what you want from me using the internet because every time I feel like I'm doing the right thing online, you all sitting there and acting like we can't make it because there's the internet now. We as we accomplish more to have reason to get along with each other on planet Earth. Now we got to figure out how to get along on the internet. So I don't know how tough the internet is on the streets online, but maybe if everybody gives me a chance back home because you're Americans and everything online, I feel like I could accomplish more if everybody allows me to. Don't you feel like, it's like, I know I can solve things if they allow me to solve it. But we live in a world where everybody's shaking that ladder when you get to the top of the ladder. Everybody's shaking that ladder when you get to the top. I'm like, why did they even allow me to get to the top of the ladder? Just to shake you on the bottom. And I'm like, that's the internet? So don't blame me for it. If the law is trying to blame me for the internet, I'm not going to take the fall for the internet if that's the case there in that court around here. Because I don't understand the internet and how easy it is for everybody to accomplish things and enjoy life online. So, I'm just Commiso that felt like I got hit in the head enough where I'm like Rocky. If I get hit again, I don't know what my mind would go. I'm Rocky. Rocky. You can't box anymore. But I'm Rocky, man. You can't tell Rocky that he's Rocky, and then all of a sudden he's not Rocky anymore because you try to tell me I got brain damage? Why you didn't let me know? Rocky said, it's the only thing I know is know how to be Rocky in the movie. I'll be lost as a character as Rocky in the movies. Because you after all these years you taught me to be Rocky in every movie. And now you tell me I'm not Rocky in the movie anymore? I might have a nervous, I'll be like Rocky every day. And I'll be the guy dressing like Rocky walking down the street because I can't, I am Rocky. I'm the underdog. Everybody can think they can beat me up because they know how to box and ultimate fighting more than I know how to wrestle. Everybody, I was the goofy guy on the wrestling team. Everybody wants to see how much I can take on the wrestling team because everybody said, Commiso, what the heck you doing on the wrestling team? Because you got glasses now. Person with glasses, yes, you can't be on a wrestling team with glasses.
He's right. Without us, no show.
But I got nervous. Every match, no matter how many wrestling match, it didn't matter. I felt that every year. I said, if I wrestle more on the wrestling mat, I feel more comfortable wrestling on the wrestling mat. But every time I wrestle on the mesh, I was nervous every time. Every single wrestling match that I had in tournaments, I was nervous and said, I don't want to mess up. I think maybe that's what I said. I don't want to let my team down. I don't want to let my coach down. I don't want to mess up because everybody somehow yelling my name in the audience. And I don't even know the people that's yelling my name in the audience. They said, I must be doing something good on the wrestling team and people I don't know is yelling my name. And I'm like, who the hell are these people? That's what it was. And so I got used to the people that yell my name. And now I hear all these other people. I was like, you say no? I was trying to look in the audience on the wrestling match. I was like, who's yelling my name? And everybody's trying to beat me up. And I felt like everybody's trying to distract me on the wrestling match. I don't know what is going on. But I was tired and dehydrated most of the time on all my matches. And I said, I feel like I should gain weight. I mean, when you're a freshman, when you time to get to your junior year, I should be a heavy teenager. So I think most of the people should be weighing around at least 200 pounds in your junior year. I should be around at least 200 pounds. Or 220 pounds. Maybe I should have been 206. I felt like if they made me 260 pounds, I would have pinned everybody because I had the weight to hold you guys down. I said, I don't want to, everybody wanted to earn points off of me. Everybody's trying to, if you push, when you get in the higher grades, it felt like everybody wanted to earn points off of me. And I said, I want to pin you. You stop moving around. Just not fun. I was getting upset on the wrestling mat, and I said, stop moving around. I can pin you if you stop moving around. Because all I need is one good, I hold you close to the mat. And I said, I hold you, I squeeze you until your shoulder, I squeeze you until your shoulder, both of your shoulders hit the mat. And I was like, yeah, I can drink a Gatorade. I said, I know I can do this. And I'm like, I got concussion, a hernia, got torn ligament in my knee. Everybody tried to beat me up. And I tried not to hurt you. I felt like, to win the match, you have to win the match. When you can't cheat in the higher grades because you go into college. I don't think you can cheat in college on the wrestling team because all the people that's in college, they really want to wrestle now because through high school and Fisher, I felt like a cool kid that was on the wrestling team, but I was the goofy guy on the wrestling team. I felt like, I said, I'm not as tall as the other tall wrestlers. I'm like, yeah, there's a little more little wrestlers, but I was the middle child on the wrestling. How people treat the middle child in the family. I was the middle child on the wrestling team. I wasn't cool enough. I wasn't cool enough to be on the wrestling team, and I wasn't cool enough to party with. I was just cool enough to pin somebody. Commiso better pin this guy because I want to have an easy match when I get on the mat. All Commiso has to do is pin this guy, and I can have an easy match after this. But wrestling's not an easy sport. If anybody noticed, yeah, football's a hard sport. I feel like if you get hit enough, you would die on the football field. But that's why you have a football team. Your friends on your football team are supposed to protect you when you throw the football or catch it. Don't let these big giant motherfuckers tackle me. I just want to catch the ball and run to the end zone if that's okay with everybody. And don't get tackled by the big giant people. So yeah, you have a wrestling team. A football team that you trust your football team to run to the other end and not get knocked out. But on a wrestling team, you're on the mat by yourself. You have a wrestling team, but you're by yourself. You got a referee and some guy that wants to wrestle me for some reason. They say, who's this guy? I feel like sometimes I had to repeat. There were repeats, the wrestlers. But I was like, who's this guy, I'm like, I don't know if I can fit this guy or not. And so I just said, just grab him like I always grab him and get to the mat really fast. This is just another wrestler. As long as I get this, I guess I got the meaning of wrestling over as I wrestled so much, I said, oh, I know what to do. You just got to pin them. So you could go drink a Gatorade. And I was really thirsty. I'm thirsty now, talking this long. So imagine me on the wrestling team. My battle buddies, I sweat so much at war. My first sergeant and my commander opens my Humvee door. And I said, what's going on? I thought something, when they opened the door, I thought something was wrong. The way they opened the door and said, because I was still sitting in the Humvee. Everybody got out of their Humvees and everything. And I was tired. I said, I'm going to sit here for a little bit. And all of a sudden, I got air. There was oxygen when the first and the oxygen hit me, and I was like, I'm okay, First Sergeant. I'm okay, Command. I got up, and they said, wow, Commiso, you looked like you were swimming all this time. You were swimming in a pool. Because the back of my seat was so wet that I must have sweat all my sweat in the seat. And they must have noticed that I sweated all my sweat. And they opened the door, and I said, oxygen. I think that's what happened. When they opened the door, I was, thank you, First Sergeant and Commander, for opening the Humvee door. I didn't know there was oxygen in the desert. So then I realized why my battle buddy was upset. There was no oxygen in the desert. So every time we had a chance to have oxygen in the desert, I said, when they opened that Humvee door and they're all staring, I thought something was wrong. I said, what's wrong? That's the first, I looked at First Sergeant. What's wrong, First Sergeant? What's wrong? What's wrong, Command? Why you open the door like that? And I first thing I thought was just to stand up and say, and so to help my friend, because I thought maybe my First Sergeant or Commander needed my help. That's why they opened. I thought it was an attack or something. I said, oh damn! I just got done this convoy and I sweat off, and they want me to do that we're under attack or something. I said, damn, now they attack. No, the first time, you okay, Commiso? I said, oh, I'm okay. And he said, you look like you were swimming in the pool, Commiso. I looked at the sheets. I said, if that's what you're saying, I don't know what's going on. I didn't know what was going on because he opened the door. I said, but I thought it was a good idea that he opened the door because I got oxygen. I said, I got, because there's not that much oxygen in the, I don't know if anybody noticed that there's not that much, you up armored the Humvee so much, there's not that much oxygen in the Humvee. So I might close the door. I was like, I gotta open this door now to get out of this Humvee. But I was so tired because I had to wear all the gear. I said, you know, this stuff gets heavy on me too, you know. I know it gets heavy on you too. All this wearing this gear all the time. So when they opened the door, the first thing I said, oh, I gotta get up. There's something wrong. My First Sergeant and Commander needs me. That's why they opened the door. So I thought they was going to tell me go over there and set up and fire in that direction or something. They said, oh, I'm tired. They should have some type of schedule at war so you won't be so tired. So, I don't know, I feel like I accomplished enough that, man, I learned how to fly around the world and serve my country as Commiso online. That's a big accomplishment for me, you know, with a learning disability and speech impairment. And you know what? I'm proud of myself serving the United States of America. You all can sit there and try to beat the crap out of me back home and try to beat the crap that I serve my country online or whatever people do online. But I was the goofy guy You really didn't have to give me any medals that war because I was just happy to get out of the house. I was happy with the military just to get out of the house. And I never got to travel anywhere in my whole life. So when I landed in Germany, I didn't know how Germany was going to be. I was just happy to get off the plane. We flew so long. And the first thing I realized, I just started looking at everything. I looked at the airports in Germany. I said, I got to remember where I was. I felt like I had to remember everywhere I was to figure out how to get back home. I said, holy shit, how the heck I'm going to get back home? I'm in Germany. I really don't know anybody around me right now. I recognize few people, but they went in that direction and I went in this direction when I got in Germany. Where are you going? I just got to know, once you get to know a battle buddy in the military, you get used to the battle buddy. And I just got to know somebody getting in Germany. Hey, where's he going? So when I got to my first duty station, and I'm saying, this is the size of the base. And I'm saying, it can't be that hard to get to know everybody on this base, how small the base is. I could get along with the people in the back. And I feel like, as a guy in high school that had pimples, and how many parties do you think I went to in high school? I was the outcast, only the few outcasts that hanged with me after school. And everything, I was the goofball. Didn't know where the clubs were when I was in high school. I didn't know where the parties were, and I was getting hit in the head on the wrestling team, and I didn't know how to ask where all the cool parties were. That's probably why I was zoning out in the hallways. I was blue, and I was the guy, the football player in varsity blue. Blue. I was zoning out I was zoning out because I got hit in the head so many times. So everybody probably was staring at me when I was in the hallway, but I didn't realize. I was zoned out to get to I gotta get to the wrestling mat today. I want to hurry up and pin this guy today. But over the years, you all figure out how to beat up me under it. They said, I know what to do, Commiso. I was blind, and I was probably had a concussion. I went to Ewing High School. I was one of the hardest wrestlers to wrestle. So maybe that's what it is. I'm a hard wrestler at court around here, and I don't want to lose. I get upset because I see all the sad faces in my wrestling team. They all look sad when I lose. I said, oh, they're not going to be my friends anymore if I don't win. So that's as a teenager in high school, that's how people make you believe as you watch American television and movies. Pretty in pink. Not everybody gets to be pretty in pink in high school. That's according to the movie. And pink is not my color. So, I don't know, I felt like I was just going to come up with my own style. I said, my mom and my parents and my grandmom dressed me over the years. And I watched the movies where, the reason why you're not getting a date at school is because your parents dressed you when you're in high school. That's the movies that I watched in the 80s. So I try to be that guy in the, I guess it is pretty in pink. I'm Dudley or whatever. And I got my own style. I'm in the 80s and I want to come up with my own style. Till everybody else come up with their own styles in the 80s, so that's. But apparently I was in the 90s and the 2000s. So I'm living, I must have built a time machine inside my mind, a sci-fi movie, and I'm living like I'm still back. I was born in the 80s, and it seems like even they make it sound like 80s. Every century, man, we're that negative. They even try to put down the 80s, and I'm like, they had Michael Jackson in the 80s. It could have been that bad if they had Michael Jackson in the 80s. And then they try to put down the 60s, and they try to put down there's a show that this is the reason why these things happened in the 60s and the 70s. And I'm like, oh, I think in the 80s, everybody was like, listen to Michael Jackson, and Madonna, and even Janet Jackson. It was even cool to listen to Janet Jackson back then. And everybody was all listening to the same music. I felt like majority of the world liked Michael Jackson in the 80s. So imagine being Michael Jackson. You're already accomplished a lot as a child in the 60s as Michael Jackson, and then the 70s came in and said, oh, now I can focus. I got the money as Michael Jackson to focus on my music in the 70s. And then everybody like, oh, Michael Jackson's not going to be cool anymore because it's the 80s now. And Michael Jackson said, what? I think Michael Jackson was the most big. How many good songs came out in Michael Jackson in the 80s? You know, it's like you're a rookie on a baseball team. Everybody's putting down you because you're a rookie and on a baseball team. They say, oh, he's a rookie. He's not going to get far on this team because he's a rookie. Michael Jackson was the rookie in the 60s, and the 70s came in. So 80s is like his Beirut time, and Michael Jackson in 80s. Then the 90s came, and it's like everybody had to out-sing the Michael Jackson in the 80s and the 90s and the 60s and the 70s. And Michael Jackson's on top of the world saying, man, everybody put me down, saying I won't even make it throughout the 70s, you know. Imagine being the Beatles. People say the Beatles are not going to make it further than the 60s, and the Rolling Stones won't make it further than the 60s. And then that's Michael Jackson said, I'm going to prove everybody wrong in the world as Michael Jackson. And just kept on singing and saying, I know what to do. Every time you all think my song is corny, everybody's singing and dancing to Michael Jackson music all around the world. And he was saying, damn, he's happy. I felt like that's like cool as hell. So Michael Jackson saying, hey, I got everybody to listen to Michael Jackson in the world. I know what to sing because I was a celebrity as a kid. And I still have a kid heart as Michael Jackson as a kid celebrity. So I know what music to make. I know what to sing like, as an adult. While you all try to sing negative in music, you think positive music is not going to happen. But Michael Jackson, I feel like Michael Jackson ever learned how to rap. Michael Jackson would have out-rapped everybody, and he wouldn't have had to put anybody down in his music. Because he was saying, I'm just Michael Jackson today, walking down the street and they're bullying and picking on me today. I said, this guy was dressing like me when I was a kid. Now they all bullying me and making fun of me and calling me a name when I'm like it. Imagine what Michael Jackson would have said. He would have, everybody said he would have made it, he would have kept going further in music because he was Michael Jackson. Every time everybody says something, you're not going to make it through the next century with your music. Michael Jackson probably say, whatever, man, I'm Michael Jackson. You all said that when I was in the 80s. Nobody's going to listen to Michael Jackson music in the 80s. And everybody, that was like, everybody was playing Michael. Imagine, you got, the, a few selection they had on the radio. They was playing Michael Jackson song. I'd be playing every time. Wouldn't it be? So, whatever. Sometimes I feel like, oh, I'm about to make it in the world, but you got people shaking the ladder so I could fall down. So, damn, man, how easy it is for everybody to get along with each other. If we accomplished landing on the moon as a human being. I feel like you had Michael Jackson in the 60s and you were landing. I think we landed on the moon because of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, we could do it. If Michael Jackson, he's a kid. And this guy is making millions of dollars right now in the 60s. If a kid could do that, we could land on the moon. That's why we landed on the moon, because of Michael Jackson in the 60s. So 70s, I feel like the 70s, if 60s was supposed to be chilling, so I feel like the 70s where everybody was like zoned out and stoned out in the 70s. So where all this conflict came from, if we're all chilling in the 70s, so I feel like there was probably a lot of stoner movies in the 70s, right? I feel like you got Cheech and Chong in the 70s, so I feel like the 70s should be chilling. And now I'm in 2026. That's why everybody's mad. There's too many numbers now. Imagine trying to say the biggest number in the future. That's a date. Everybody can say 1980s. Everybody can say 1970s. Everybody can say 60s. Imagine the years in the future. They won't be able to say it. Everybody has a nervous breakdown by saying it, reading out the date in the classroom. Teacher, I can't read the date. There's something wrong. I can't read it either as a teacher. Something's wrong. I feel like in the future, we won't know what year it is because we're like, I already lost count how many times we went around the sun. Try to tell me when we went around the sun this many times? Or
So many colors.
so everybody won't be able to read the time in the year. So time won't matter in the future if nobody can read the date. It said, so can we bring back some of the 60s and the 70s and the 80s? Even some in the 90s was cool. I don't know. 2000s was some kind of coolness in the 2000s. There's some kind of era of coolness. If that's what we need to do to solve the world's problem, how to chill on this planet, then why can't we chill like we're back in the 80s? I feel like that's the time we need to be because that's where we built the time machine, was in the 80s. So then we must have did something good in the 80s where everybody wants to party like they're in the 80s or the 60s or 70s or whatever time era. So what's the conflict of using the internet? Because we already had a set direction of this button least for, I don't know what's wrong with the internet. Because if everybody's chilling and watching movies and television, playing video games online, I don't understand the conflict of getting along with each other. I feel as an American citizen that all American citizens should be able to get along with American law on the internet, right? So I got hit in the head a lot. I don't mean to repeat myself, and I really think I ran out of sentences and words because I really didn't study that hard, and I didn't realize it was that hard to communicate with each other as a human being on this planet.
Feed the birds.
You know, that's why you watch Indiana Jones. Is it this guy always, when you watch Indiana Jones, this guy's, it's like he's skipping through the world. Everybody wants to beat him up as Indiana Jones, but he's still skipping around through the world, and he gets the girl. He gets, Indiana Jones gets the Star Trek girl, and then Indiana Jones get all the girls in Indiana Jones movies. So I was like, I want to be like Indiana Jones, because he gets the girl in the movie. You get to travel the world. You know, they pay you eventually to get some kind of something in the world, and you collect, and you're basically just collecting things as Indiana Jones.
Plan.
So that's what I thought was going to happen when I graduated from high school. I thought I was going to be like, man, I'm going to explore the world like Indiana Jones and everything. And you know what? It's weird. You know, I may not know every technical word they use in the military. I may not been the highest rank in the military. I may not, don't know what the heck I was doing. That war kind of soldier. I said, what the heck am I doing here? I said, what's going on? And my battle buddies kept me going at war. I said, you know what? My battle buddies want me to make them laugh today. I can do that at the motor pool. I don't feel like I worked enough to know everything about a generator, but I felt like I could have read a wire diagram. All you have to really do to figure out what's wrong with the generator is to read the, I felt like they taught me you really had to read the wire diagram and then do the steps. If the engine don't start, is it the starter or the battery? That's how you go with the generator. You look at every single part, and whatever part is broken, is it the relay? The relay is like the map. The relay is like the map or the electricity. You got to direct electricity to a building so they have power. Is a generator. So I felt like I got it. I said, I felt like, I just look at the pictures. I said, it's like I used to put furniture together for my mom. I get furniture and I put the furniture. I just look at the pictures. I said, it takes too long to read this thing. I'm just going to look at the pictures. And somehow I just figure out what's wrong with the generator, or I did other things. I was just not just a generator mechanic. They called me, I think they taught me the word, I was a grunt. Somebody taught me, oh, you was a grunt in the military. I said, what the heck is that? It says, that's the soldier that does everything in the military. That's it. I felt like I was like, they said they was trying to cross-train me in every job that was in the military, and I was trying to learn it as Commiso. I said, I know how to shoot down the range. If I really, I shot down all my targets, I felt like. So I had the range. I said, I'm good. I get nervous on every range I do because I know what an M16 is, and I'm like, wow, they trust me with an M16 in the military. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try to shoot this target every time I go down the range and see what I can get a better score than a better score. Or I felt like I was shooting head on, and I was shooting with my left hand. I couldn't close my right eye, or I couldn't close my left eye to shoot with my right hand. So the drill sergeant taught me how to shoot with my left hand. So everything's backwards now because you're learning how to shoot with your left hand on the range. And even shooting backwards with my left hand, I felt like I felt like I was getting better and better in every range that I went to. I said, I wondered if they know I had to be taught how to shoot with my left hand and I write with my right hand. Then, when you have glasses like I do, man, you ever been in basic training and you don't want the drill sergeant yell at you at the range so you make you look? I felt like the drill sergeant make you look bad in the classroom. I said, "Oh, this drill sergeant yelled at me because he's trying to make me look bad." So I try to calm down the drill sergeant. I said, just don't get the drill sergeant. So I try to hide it under. I'm not on the range. But I said, to make the drill sergeant happy, I got to shoot down these targets so I can move on to another range and everybody be happy again in the barracks. So every time I felt like I was getting better, and I said, sometimes I don't think they was getting my score right in basic training. I said, I felt like I shot more targets down. I said, I felt like I shot down all the damn targets. Every time a target came up, I shot it right down. And I even shot down the little tiny one in the back. And sometimes when I shoot the little tiny one, and I said, it was supposed to go down. I said, why did this not go down? I said, oh my God, the range is almost over. The drill sergeant's going to get yelled at because I didn't shoot down the little one down the range. So I shoot it down. I said, I feel like I shooting that one down. And I see it go down. So I can shoot the one that goes all the way to the end. And then they kept going sending me to more ranges. I said, well, I guess I got bored a little bit. I said, what is that? I said, this is how I can do this. So, but that's all I got for today. I gotta every time I feel like you're gonna bully me or say something, and I'm like, I gotta let out some steam. Veterans, imagine how much steam veterans got back home as being at war. You act like war sucks for everybody, you know. It don't matter what type of war it is. War sucks for everybody on this planet. So, as a veteran, and I'm like, I was skipping around at war, and I just realized I could have been sniped or kidnapped and blown up at war. And I was, everybody saying, what's Commiso doing? Everybody's nervous. Commiso's doing something at war.
Sorry.
So I must have had a concussion all the way through the wrestling team. And I was zoned out. I was like Benjamin Button movie. You remember you saw that movie with, what's his name? All the ladies want that, actors, because he's all whatever. I felt like that. I did everything when I was young as an old guy. And now I'm a young guy that doesn't do anything as an old guy. And I'm like, shit, they only give you 100 years. Not everybody makes it to 100 years on this planet. And I'm already 40 years old. So if everybody wants to make it to the retirement, and you're like, I want half of my life to be a happy life. I feel like if everybody knows everybody's going to die in the world one day, half of my life, everybody in the world should have a good life. That's the retirement. I think at 50 is the half point of your life. At 50 is where everything should come together. But then I'm like, I'm 40. So you're trying to tell me I have to wait 10 more years for you say to have a good life.
It's boring.
And I'm like, no.
You won't tell me why.
I know that, shit, I'm 40 already. So, time you keep calling me today, you keep picking on me and bullying back home. I'm like, I heard Greece was nice. I somehow, being the shy, nervous guy around the world on the internet, people talk to me. I felt like somebody told me I should go to Greece. And every time somebody said I should go to Greece, I said, I feel like I have to go to Greece because somebody told me I have to go to Greece. Because I heard they said the beaches in Greece is so beautiful. And I'm like, if this planet is so beautiful, as to this, people figure out what flowers are, and there's actually blue water in this planet. If you travel long enough, you'll find blue. The water's bluer than the sky. The water's so fresh. I guess that's how you know there's fresh water. So we're willing to destroy our planet and how blue the water is bluer than the sky. There's parts of the planet that the water is bluer than the sky. Because I'm from New Jersey. I never saw water so blue. And I felt like, wow, I'm home, not home, but wow, this is some kind of vacation as a poor guy in New Jersey. How far you can make it in New Jersey compared to back in the day when they had Albert Einstein and everything in New Jersey. So everybody acts like, I hope I'm not putting down every battle buddy made me feel like a cool American hero serving my country because of my battle buddy. And I was the goofy guy in the barracks. So I really feel like, the sergeant said, go pick up a girl. You to be cool in the barracks. You got to learn how to talk to the girls, Commiso, at the club. My staff or sergeant, my squad sergeant, it wasn't even my platoon sergeant, it was my squad sergeant. And I listened to my squad sergeant. And he said, Commiso, you can do it, Commiso. You can talk to that girl at the bar. I said, I just need some more beer, Sergeant. I'm a shy guy, Sergeant. I don't know how I really think, I just called, okay, I said, okay, whatever. I don't feel like I said Sergeant all the time at the club. I think in my mind at the club, I said, okay, Sergeant. I tried to talk to the girl at the club. And I've got speech impediment and learning disability. I probably got ADD. I could be a dyslexic a little bit, explain my speech impediment situation. Because I really didn't get taught much about my learning disability in school. I didn't have time. I tried to get A's and B's. So I get out of school. So I was the new guy at the barracks. And so if people think I'm putting down my battle buddies down or whatever, no. Maybe I feel like, you know what? My battle buddy, if my battle buddies was around right now, like around me, I feel like every single battle buddy would have said some good positive feedback from Commiso. Yeah, I didn't pick up all the girls at the club as you all expected me to do. But I was cool to hang with. I felt like, I was cool to hang with. My battle buddies made me feel cool to hang with, traveling around the world. And I got that party with my squad sergeant in the clubs and the bar. And I was just a PFC. I feel like how they treat each other at rank. If you're just a private, everybody's going to just treat you like a private. But when you become a PFC, you're between private and between specialist. Now everybody's going to pick on you because you're a little bit higher in rank in the military. And now when you become a specialist, I said, man, to become a specialist, you got to be special. In the military, you became a specialist because you're special, Commiso. So I said, oh man, they're gonna come to me for all the answers as a specialist. No, no. If you make some rank happy as a specialist, I think if they would have kept me a specialist all through the military, I would just be happy being a specialist because, you don't take on a lot of responsibility as being a specialist. They just give you some responsibility as a specialist. I said, I can handle this few duties they gave me as a specialist. So being a sergeant, I think sergeant, if you're a sergeant, man, every rank I felt, because they're a sergeant, you're just a sergeant. You're not a private no more. You know the military as a sergeant. So I feel like everybody expects a lot from you because you're just a sergeant. So I said, I feel like if I get a high rank, the higher rank you are, the less people will pick on you in the military. So if I was a 4-star general, I said, how many people are going to pick on me if I was a 4-star? Maybe another 4-star general will come to me or something. Well, I felt like the 4-star generals will have a meeting or something. They'd tell me what's wrong. I think that's if you're smart enough to have a meeting as 4-star generals. I said, nobody's going to pick on me if I was a 4-star general. So no, I don't know. I just felt like, as long as I was like, that's through the whole military, as long as I get nobody mad in the barracks, like the drill sergeant, and everything be okay in the barracks. Commiso's okay in the barracks. First sergeant, sergeant, he's okay hanging with us. And nobody picked on me. I said, I didn't say anything bad about you in the barracks. I felt like I had a concussion on the wrestling team in the barracks. I said, I know what it means to be a battle buddy. I won't get you in trouble in the barracks. So I was just whoever wanted to party with me in the barracks, and I was like, you ready to get? We had to go to war. I felt like if they had gave me some time to know how to party, I would have been the staff sergeant in the barracks that knows how to party with the soldiers. And the reason why he made me a staff sergeant is because I know how to party with the soldiers in the barracks. So I don't think it was hard to earn rank in the military, but I wasn't really focusing on earning rank at war or in the barracks. I was just trying to make everybody happy in the barracks. Hey, who are you? I'm Commiso, everybody in the barracks. I know how you don't know me, but for weeks now, I was working in the mirror when you was in training. So I don't know if I should have told everybody in the barracks I did that, because they were like, well, Commiso, we was in training and you was playing with Mel and we all had to train in the barracks. So I was the new guy. I said, but they all came off of training and I finally met my roommate. I said, hey, hello, battle buddies. Hello, roommate. Hello, roommate. And they all look serious off of training in the field. They all look, oh, this is a serious battle, but... And all of a sudden, we're all jumping through beer cans in the barracks. I said, well, how come we didn't do this in basic training? I would have had a wonderful time in basic training. And we're all jumping through the cans and the beer cans and everything. So I said, I know. I said, I'm from New Jersey, roommate. And he said, I'm from the South. And I said, oh, he's from the South. And there's serious people in the South. Said, oh, I'm not even the same state as the South guy. He's already mad at me because I'm from New Jersey and I'm not from the South. But no, somehow I got along with Southern people in the military. As long as whatever they say to drink, you make sure you drink it in front of the Southern people. Once you can drink that, everything was all cool through the whole night in the club. I feel like if I ever have a chance to party in the South from a New Jersey guy, as a veteran, all I had to do is whatever shot you had. I feel like I get along a little bit. I felt like my battle buddies from the South and the barracks taught me how to party from people from the South. And that was not a complicated thing to do in the barracks. So I felt like, you know how you learn about generators and electricity in the generator? I'm the electricity that you all try to put the generators in the barracks together, and I'm the electricity somehow started that generator. As Commiso, I learned what a battalion is. I know what a company is. I know what a squad is. I know a platoon and a battalion and a brigade. I said, we got to break. They break down the military so much. I don't know. They break down the military. I don't feel like I had enough military education to know what that means. So, being going through basic training and AIT, and then I was like, at one point, I was young, and I was excited, because I never went to Germany before, as an American kid, living in New Jersey. And I said, this is going to be cool. It's going to be fun. That's what I kept in my mind. I said, I'm already on the plane to Germany. That's a start right there. And I went to my first duty station. And even though I felt like the new guy in my barracks, I felt like, oh, who's Commiso? I felt like everybody in the barracks saying, who the hell's Commiso in the barracks? Where the hell he come from? We was all in the field training. And I magically appeared they put me here, battle buddy. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be here, battle buddy. It's okay. Calm down, battle buddy. Every roommate because in basic training, you got all these roommates. And I felt like I got to calm everybody down in basic training somehow. Feels like everybody's going to kill each other in basic training. Everybody's got an M16. So I felt like there was a time where I just been Commiso in the barracks. There's all these tough motherfuckers in basic training. And I was like, shit, how tough you gotta be? This guy looks pretty fucking tough in this barracks. He's gonna make it. And you see people don't want, it's not everybody graduated, though. I feel like not everybody graduated. I was shocked that I graduated from basic training. Not because I felt like I was a good battle buddy. Everywhere I went, everywhere I got the Force. I got Star Wars Force to my battle buddy. I felt like I was there for every battle buddy all around the world somehow for my battle buddy. So even though I was like the new guy and I'm like, oh, he's from the South and I'm from New Jersey, we might not understand each other, but I got along with my first battle buddy I don't know if anybody knows about names online.
Anyway, I was wondering.
And the first weekend, he didn't care. I don't think he cared what roommate he had because he just got done training, and apparently training was hard first days. So that's what I noticed. Everybody just came back from training, and you all was in mud. You all in mud. You're all dirty. You're in mud. You got every single gear that they gave you in the military. You got to take every single gear that they gave you in the military since the beginning of the basic training. So that I felt like somehow my M16 must have followed me through basic training, and even my M16 followed me to my first. I felt like somehow I felt like this number. I recognized because I recognized the number on the M16. This number looks familiar. It seems like I saw this number before. So I don't know how organized the military was back in the past time, being Commiso, but, you know, for the personality, I'm the guy, yeah. I'm the guy, you ever saw the movie Into the Army now? He looks like a hippie guy, kind of, he's like a hippie punk guy. This guy is like, nobody understands his personality kind of guy walking down in the military. That's the guy in the military. He's trying to make people laugh because he's a comedian in the movie. It was even him being a comedian, he got in a fight even being a comedian in the military. In the army now. And that was me when I was traveling the world. I said, I never flew in a plane that far before. Where the heck are we going? And they try to put movies and music to put you asleep. So I guess they don't want that much movement in the plane. And I stay awake. I said, you're not going to put me to sleep. I'm going to make it to Germany in this plane. They said, I'm not going to go to sleep. You're freaking how. You can't sleep on a plane, man. You're super freaking. Man, anybody knows how, if you. Man, you know, that's how I felt when I was in the plane when I was sleeping. So, you got to give me some credit for a guy that just like had to stay awake on the plane. Because I felt like if I stayed awake on the plane, it's going to make it to the other side. That's the math that it was saying to my mind. I said, this plane is going to make it to the other side. And I got so many planes in the military, and I was like, you know, that's a cool thing to do as a person, as an American. To travel around the world and see all the cool countries in the world and everything. So that's all I got for today as a disabled combat veteran after 9. Michael Commiso in the battle voice. So long.